Good evening, dear ladies. I would like to start בעזרת השם שיגיע המשיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן, שיגיע מבשר אליהו נביא אליהו תשבי אליהו בלעדים במהרה ממשיך בן דוד אליהו נביא זכור לטוב אמן כן יהי רצון. I would like to tell you something that I saw, in a Chabad newsletter, and it was last week when it was Shabbat Para, and at the back of the newsletter there was something written about Holland and Rabbi Jacobs. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. And it's written over there that in the parliament in Holland there is a suggestion for a law that will not allow Jewish shchita. That will stop the Jewish shchita. And more than that, this is one, but the second thing is, it says, you will kill and then also you're going to inherit someone. They told him that he teaches Jewish children Judaism. So they came to him from the education department and they said there are not enough Jewish children. That's why you cannot continue holding the cheder. You know, cheder is that you will not continue to teach Jewish children. So this is said, he told them, but it's absurd because of the Holocaust, there's not enough Jewish children in Holland because most of them were killed in the Holocaust. So he says, it's ridiculous to even say that. But I want you just to pay, this is now, and this is a developed country in Europe. It's not, I'm not talking about now, yes, that's what I'm telling you. And the shchita is, that's what I'm telling you now in Holland. It's what I'm trying to say is it's like a domino effect. You know what a domino effect is? When you put one next to another and just you push one down and all of it start to go down like it's a sharsheret.
Yes.
Like it's the same thing. And this is happening right now. It's the same, and it doesn't matter how much knowledge we have, because today science knows that the shchita, the Jewish slaughtering of animals, is the most merciful of them all. This is by science. It's not only the Jewish people that say that, but science also. They have research that shows that the Jewish slaughtering of animals, shchita yehudit, is the most merciful of all. The animal does not feel anything. But this is also by science. It's not only our saying that we say that, but also there was research by scientists that proves that this is the most human thing that can happen, that we can do in order to slaughter an animal. And this is a very developed country. It's not one of the third world countries, and you won't say it's a Muslim country. It's Holland. But this is a newsletter that was published last week on Shabbat Para from Chabad. So I was shocked to see, look how history repeats itself. It does not matter how much we know and how much knowledge we have. Still, we are walking. It doesn't matter. Okay.
No, I just want to tell you that I read by myself that in California, it's some group of people that are saying that Brit Milah should not be allowed.
San Francisco did that.
Yes.
Yeah, my mom told me that one of the rabbis in the Kiryat Malachi came and gave them lecture, said all the Jews who have relatives in America, tell them to come because it's no future for Jewish people in Israel. He gave.
Listen, dear women, there's no future anywhere for the Jewish people except for the land of Israel.
That's what he said.
That should be clear to all of us.
You know, they found out, I don't mean to interrupt you, but with Rubushkin, they found, I mean, I don't know if all of you know this, you must know this by now, they found out that he was framed. The prosecutor was in on it. And his attorneys presented the proof, and nobody's listening. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What I wanted to tell you, you see that history repeats itself, dear women. It doesn't matter what we do. שהיא אומרת טוב, אני אחזור על זה עוד מעט, לגבי רובשקין, שמצאו שזה הפללה, והציגו את ההוכחות, ברוכה הבאה, הציגו את ההוכחות ולא התייחסו לזה עדיין. Dear women, it's very important, listen. It's written, Tzion b'mishpat tipadeh. In the prophet Yeshayahu it's written that Tzion, which means the land of Israel, the Jewish people, are going to be free by judgment. So, but we can change it. I already told you. It depends on us. We can change it. We need to have that. We have to have the knowledge that Hashem is with us everywhere. We need to do what we need to do what Hashem gave us to do. The mitzvot and the good deeds, we have the commandments and we have to do it. There's no other way in order that Mashiach will come with mercy. There's no other way. Otherwise it will come, God forbid, with judgment. We can think whatever we want, but reality shows what's going on in the world. It's not something that is not going on, something that we made up. But reality shows the Metziut, shows what happens in the world, and we can see Shalom Nida Metzorot, that history repeats itself.
And that is in the country that Anne Frank was,
כן. But meanwhile, עוד מעט אני אחזור על זה בסוף. שרוצים לאסור שחיטה יהודית, לעצור את זה בהולנד, וגם את החדר שהרב עשה רוצים להפסיק. Okay, let's start with Chodesh Nisan, with the month of the miracles, Bezrat Hashem. We have a few laws regarding the month of Nisan. First of all, by Shulchan Aruch, we are not allowed on the whole month of Nisan, from the beginning of the month of Nisan till the end of the month of Nisan, we do not say Tachanun. Dear women, it's written like this: במשך כל ימות חודש ניסן אין אומרים תחנון. בתפילת שחרית ומנחה אין אומרים אב הרחמים. In the morning blessings and also in the afternoon, mincha and shacharit, we do not say אב הרחמים. You should tell also to your husbands. ובמוסף של שבת, ואין אומרים במנחה צדקתך צדק לעולם, אלא אומרים יהי רצון. You will see in the Siddur, you are not allowed to say that. Why? Because all of this month is considered a month of miracles. The 12 first days of the month is the time when the presidents, in Chumash Bamidbar, in the fourth Chumash Bamidbar, you remember that when they celebrated the Mishkan, the sanctuary, when they celebrated it, then each president came to the Kohen and he brought, for the honor of the Mishkan, he brought the sacrifices. So each day there was one president from each one of the tribes who came forward. So those 12 days are days of celebration. And then we have the 13th day. I'm going to speak in a few minutes about each one of them. The 13th day and the 14th day is Pesach. It's Korban Pesach. It's already Pesach. Then we have 10 days of Pesach almost, and which what is left of the month is almost nothing. That's why the whole month is considered as a month of miracles, and you are not allowed to say Tachanun in the month of Nisan. The Rosh Chodesh Nisan starts on Tuesday, which means Monday, and next lesson is Rosh Chodesh. We will have the lesson on Rosh Chodesh. Exactly, Erev Rosh Chodesh, next lesson before Pesach, we're going to have next lesson. It will be Rosh Chodesh Nisan.
Can we do Amenim next Monday?
It won't be next Monday, because next Monday it will be Bezrat Hashem. I'm going to speak about Pesach, all the laws about Pesach. But we're going to have Sudat Amenim, the meal of Amenim. We're going to have between Pesach and Shavuot, Bli Neder. And then I only have a suggestion, maybe we should do it in the shul. We'll celebrate over here, we'll order catering, and Bezrat Hashem will do the Amenim Suda over here. And Bezrat Hashem, I hope that a lot of women will come, and everybody will have the zchut to participate in it, Bezrat Hashem.
Make enough before your announcement.
Yeah, I will. Bezrat Hashem, we'll see. Once a lesson before we finish everything, I will tell you that we're going to have Bezrat Hashem. כן. And אין מספידים את הנפטר. We do not say hesped. You know what hesped is? That we speak about a person that passed away. We do not say that on the month of Nisan. כיוון שרובו מהווה ימים טובים, which means most of it is it's called high holidays. That's why we are not allowed to do mispad. I remember that a woman asked me if you have to go to the grave. So there are a lot of minhagim about this, that most of the people do not even go to the grave on the month of Nisan. But it says over here, this is a Kovetz Halachot LePesach, it says that if you do go, because there is a permission by 3 dinim, that there is a permission b'chol mikra to go. If you go, you're not allowed to say the usual things, only to read Tehillim. Okay? That's the only thing. But usually on the month of Nisan, you don't even go to the grave.
What's the grave?
Month of Adar is something else. I'm talking about the month of Nisan.
People are allowed to go on the grave
Okay.
because it's just a
Yes.
month of happiness.
But this is a month that all of it is only is high holidays, like all the month. Okay, because on the 1st of Nisan we celebrated the Mishkan. The Chanukat Habayit shel Mishkan. It was on the 1st of Nisan. That's why the whole month, including Pesach, but we're going to speak about it more. I just want to give you a few points. Then the second thing that I would like to tell you, on the month of Nisan, first of all, this Shabbat is Shabbat Mevarchim Rosh Chodesh Nisan. This is called Shabbat HaChodesh. The parasha of this week that you're going to read, because it's a leap year, usually you see every year we read Parashat Tazria Metzorah together. But this year, leprosy, Tazria Metzorah, we'll read each one of them separately because it's a leap year. So this Shabbat we read from Chumash Vayikra, Parashat Tazria, and if you can go to the online and you can find there, I gave you lessons about Parashat Tazria. You can look there and see the lessons, Parashat Tazria. And this Shabbat is called Shabbat HaChodesh. And Bezrat Hashem, this Shabbat, please read the whole Tehillim together. If you can, read it on your own. If you can't, just, divide it. Even from now, divide it. Tell a few friends to read from chapter to chapter. And then on Shabbat, Bezrat Hashem, you'll finish the whole Tehillim. It's a big schut, it's a big merit to read on Shabbat Mevarchim. Shabbat Mevarchim, to read the whole Tehillim. So maybe separate it between yourselves. Okay, but if you don't come and you're alone, you can separate between your friends, okay? And then you have to read the whole Tehillim. Now,
In our synagogue, we always read it.
excellent. But the ones that don't, I'm giving you a tip. Excellent. Even 5 books, it's מעולה. יישר כוח. Dear women, Banot, it's written Ki Adam Etz HaSadeh, which means that a human being is like a tree. It's written in Chumash Dvarim, chapter 20. I gave you in your hands Birkat HaIlanot. Ilanot is trees. Birkat HaIlanot is trees. You see over here, Birkat HaIlanot is the blessing of the trees. Shh, girls, that you'll understand. Ki Adam Etz HaSadeh. It's written in Chumash Dvarim, Ki Adam Etz HaSadeh. A human being is considered as a tree. Okay? I would like to explain to you. One of the laws of Nisan is on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. We should bless Birkat HaIlanot. You have the blessing in your hands. The blessing itself is, look at the first page, it's written one over here. I've translated it to English over here. This is the blessing itself. All of the additions, in most Sidurim you don't have it, only in the Sfaradic Sidurim and in the Hasidic Sidurim you have the addition. The addition is the Iratzon. It's very important, I'll explain it. You see over here, blessed are you Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who has caused nothing to be lacking in his universe and has created in it godly creatures and godly trees wherewith to bring delight to mankind. This is the blessing, okay? All the other things that you see from the Yehi Ratzon, Leshem Yichud Kedusha Berichu, and the Yehi Ratzon, everything is an addition on the other side. You see it's on both sides, okay? Is an addition, and I will explain why there is an addition, why it's so important. But first of all, I'm going to give you the laws of Birkat HaIlanot. It's very important.
When we should start?
Rosh Chodesh Nisan. You need to find 2 trees Okay, that you know at the beginning of flowers, trees of fruit, 2 trees of fruit. It has to be trees of fruit, not trees that don't have fruit on them. 2 trees of fruit, and then you bless Birkat Ilanot. Just a minute.
We have to buy fruit from the small, or we have to...
Again, listen very, dear women, no. Dear women, listen again. You have to go outside. You know, it says it's better, Yalkut Yosef says, Arav Odani Elyashiv says, it's better to go out of town to see the fruit. But if you can't, it's okay to go to a garden, okay, even for your neighbor's garden or your garden. If you have trees with fruit, that the blossom starts, you can see, you know, small flowers on the trees. You have to see 2 trees, so you can point out 2 trees, only trees of fruit. Write it down that you will remember, only trees of fruit. Not trees that do not have fruit. It has to be 2 trees, okay? If it's the same fruit, it's good. If it's 2 different, like an apple and a pear, it's excellent, okay? 2 different fruits, it's okay, but you have to have 2 trees. The best thing is to bless on Rosh Chodesh Nissan. Okay? The best thing is to bless. It says that it's good to bless in a minyan, which means in the number of 10 people. Even if we are only women, it's good to bless in the number of 10 women. If you go together like a group, you have friends, go together and do the blessing.
But next Monday is too early because the weather is...
I mean, blessing again.
Because I know you don't know where you handle this. Okay, if you don't know, it's at least 3. Let me please explain to you. If you don't know Hebrew, but your husband knows, or your children know, give them the paper, copy the blessing in English. Instead of Hashem, you say the name of God. And God, you say Elokeinu, you know the true name, okay? But you say the blessing. Before that, I will give you at least this. You can say 3 chapters of Tehillim. So I'll give you the chapters before you say the blessing, before you say Baruch Atah Hashem. Okay? 3 chapters of Tehillim. Chapter Chavtet, which is 29. And then Kuf Chav Vav, which is 126. And then chapter Kuf Mem Chet, 148. Okay? Say the blessing, and at the end of the blessing, I will give you another chapter of Tehillim to say. You will say at the end, you said then a blessing. Okay? This is the blessing. Say the blessing, and at the end of the blessing, say chapter Kuf Chav Bet, 122. Okay? If you do not know... Sorry? If you do not know Hebrew, at least say this. Okay? If you do not know Hebrew, at least say this, okay? 29, 126, 148, it's before the blessing. After the blessing, say 122, Kuf Chav Bet. Okay? After. If you do not know Hebrew, read the Tehillim before, say the blessing, look at the trees. You have to look at the trees while you're saying it. And then finish with the Tehillim chapter 122. Now let's go with the laws of it. We bless this blessing only once a year. Okay? אין מברכים ברכה זו אלא פעם אחת בשנה. Only once a year. ולכתחילה אין להקדים ברכה לחודש אדר, אלא יברך בחודש ניסן. We are not supposed to say that in the month of Adar. We bless on the month of Nisan. There are some questions about it, I know. If you have, just raise your hand, I will answer the questions. It will be easier. ובדיעבד, אם ברך בחודש אדר, יצא ידי חובה. If you're already blessed on the month of Adar, anyway you're יוצא, okay? עכשיו, ואינו חוזר ומברך בחודש ניסן, you're not allowed to repeat the blessing on the month of Nisan. I'm giving you the Jewish laws about it. ואם עבר ניסן, and if you did not bless on the month of Nisan, יברך בחודש אייר. which means you're allowed to bless on Iyar, but the best thing is to bless on Rosh Chodesh Nissan, at the beginning of the month of Nissan. That's the blessed thing. I will explain why we do this blessing. או בחודשים, if you didn't do on Iyar, you can bless, או בחודשים לאחר מכן, אם עדיין מוצא אילנות שמוציאים פרחים, if you still find fruit trees that still only take out fruit, flowers at the beginning, the blossoming, the beginning blossoming of it.
Can you say on Saturday?
Okay, you can say it on Saturday. The only thing why we prefer not to say it on Saturday, because if there's Iruv, you have to have, because then you take the Sidur, you have to have it in front of you. So you have to take it out of your house. So you are not, if you don't have Iruv, you cannot letaltel, you cannot take things out of your house. Do you understand? And there's another thing that usually they say that it's better not to say it on Shabbat, but you can say it on Shabbat. If you have Iruv and you have 10 people, you can say it. Just don't touch the trees, God forbid, don't break anything. You just need to look at it and to point at it, okay? Don't just on Shabbat. No.
Just on Rosh Chodesh, on Chodesh Nissan.
Okay. It's preferable on Rosh Chodesh, which means Tuesday. Next Tuesday is Rosh Chodesh Nissan. It's one day. Okay? Rosh Chodesh Nissan is next Tuesday. So it's better on Mamash Rosh Chodesh to do that. And listen there, and like South America, we have countries in South America that the trees blossom in different months. So for example, the trees blossom over there on the month of Tishrei. Then you can make the blessing. Thank you. So you can bless even on Tishrei. Depends on when Hashem gives the trees to blossom then. Another thing, הזריזים מקדימים למצוות, which means we should do it earlier, we should do the blessing, ומברכים ברכה זו בראש חודש ניסן. It's preferable to bless, like I told you, on ראש חודש ניסן, which is next Tuesday, בעזרת השם. ויש נוהגים להתעסק ברוב עם ולברך בציבור, which means it's also preferable that we will go as groups and make the blessing. So if you are teachers in a school, or if you have employees and they're all Jewish, you can take them outside, find 2 trees that start to blossom, fruit trees that start to blossom, and make the blessing. And then you give a merit to all of them. And you should לכוון, לצאת ידי חובה, לצאת, if you can. It's another thing. מותר מן הדין לברך ברכת האילנות בשבת. It says you are allowed to bless on Shabbat. ואין לחוש ולגזור פנשכח ולתלוש מפרחי אילנות בשבת. Which means the only thing is don't take leaves from the tree, God forbid, or break the branch or something, or touch it. You just need to look at it. And of course you have to have in your area your roof, so you can go out of your house, okay? With a prayer book, with a siddur.
Can you say the night time? No.
You need to see it, so it's preferable during the. If you can. It's better that you can see it. You have to look at it, and I'll explain why. Yes, you can say it at night, but you have to see it. If there's light all over, you can say it.
How we know it's a fruit tree? Explain
You have to have knowledge.
I'm going. Just a minute. First, we go over the laws, and then I'll explain it. It says, "Tov levarech ברכת האילנות על אילנות הנטועים בגינות ובפרדסים שמחוץ לעיר." Like I told you, it's better to bless over trees, fruit trees that are outside the city. But if it's a problem, then Bezrat Hashem in your gardens, or you can ask your neighbor. If you see, you can ask someone if this is a fruit tree. If you can ask.
I know why I asked you in night time. Maybe we can walk together. I know, like we found 2 trees over there.
And they're fruit trees?
And we can go all of us. Like it's going
בלי
to.
נדר, למה לא? Ask, be sure that those are fruit trees. בלי נדר, בעזרת השם. Then I will say in Hebrew, and we'll be all יוצא. בלי נדר, בלי נדר. And we are, זה באמת ראש חודש, and exactly for Pesach, Passover, so באמת, ברוך השם. Excellent. But ask, just be sure that those are fruit trees.
Last year we prayed there.
Okay. אבל אילנות סרק שאין מוציאים פירות, אין מברכים עליהם. But trees that do not have fruit, you're not allowed to bless over them. It's only trees that have fruit. We'll explain why. וצריך שיהיו לכל הפחות 2 אילנות, ואפילו הם ממין אחד. At least 2 trees, fruit trees, and it's okay if they are from the same fruits on those trees. Okay? והמברך על ראיית מיני אילנות שונים, הרי זה משובח. Which means if you have 2 different kinds of fruits on those trees, it's excellent. זה משובח, it says. אין לברך אלא בשעה שהאילנות מוציאים פרחים. You have to see the beginning of the blossoming, you know, the flowers, when they just go out. אבל אם כבר נשו כל פרחי אותם אילנות, אפילו אם עדיין לא גדלו הפירות, אינו מברך עליהם. Which means if all the flowers already went down, even though, you know, fell, and the fruit did not grow yet, you're not allowed then to bless. אילנות מורכבים means if you have, you know what מורכבים החלאה, you took 2 different fruits and you combined it together and now this is a hybrid. The hybrid trees are not allowed to bless ברכת האילנות. יש אומרים שאין לברך עליהם ויש אומרים שמותר לברך עליהם. It says that some do say that you can bless on them, ולהלכה נראה שנכון יותר שלא לברך. And by law it's more proper not to bless over those trees. והרוצה לברך אין למחות בידו, which means if someone doesn't have, he didn't see any, he wants to bless, אין למחות בידו means that he can still bless, but it's better to bless. You're allowed to eat it, but you do not say shehecheyanu over that. Okay, it says by the Jewish law, most of the poskim say that you're not allowed to say shehecheyanu and you're not allowed to say birkat ha'ilonot. But you do say if you ate them, borei pri ha'etz. Okay, this is bracha achorona. It's a different thing. Okay, איפה זה? מותר לברך על אילנות שהם בתוך 3 שנים לנטיעתם, אף על פי שהם מעורלה. You know that the trees in Israel, 3 years. You are not allowed to eat from them. On the 4th, you remember that's Orla it's called. But I gave you a lesson about it. Anyway, in the land of Israel, trees, fruit trees, that you planted and only 3 years passed, you're still allowed to make a blessing, birkat ha'ilonot over them. But fruit trees.
3 years or 5 years?
No, but Orla, they are called Orla for 3 years, then they have a different definition. But the 3 years that you're not allowed to take anything from it, this is the time you can still say the blessing of birkat ha'ilonot over them. נשים מברכות ברכת האילנות. Women are allowed to say ברכת האילנות. שאין זו מצווה שהזמן גרמה, ונכון לחנך אף את הקטנים לברך, which means if you are teachers, if you have children, you know, even though they are not 12, the girls are not 12 years old and the boys are not 13, you should take them and make the blessing with them in order to teach them to bless over the fruit. It's very very important. וקטן שמגיע למצוות בימי חודש ניסן, נכון שנתים לברך עד הגיעו למצוות, which means if on Nissan he's going to be 13, so he should wait and give the blessing when he's 13. Then he's really Yotzeh. Because under that, he's not Yotzeh, he's Yotzeh if we say that, if an older person says that. הסומא בשתי עיניו לא יברך ברכת אילנות. A person who is blind cannot bless ברכת האילנות, ונכון שישמע ברכה, because he cannot see, you have to see the blossom. Okay? ונכון שישמע ברכה מאחר ויכוון לצאת ידי חובה, which means he has to listen to another person that can see and gives the blessing, and then he's yotze by answering, saying amen, and he mechaven. He has to think about the words that he's hearing right now. I would like to tell you, dear women, if you look at Birkat HaIlanot, you'll find a few things over there. Wait. It gave a few things from the Gemara. It says like this in Gemara Masechet Brachot about Birkat HaIlanot. Please, ladies, let's. A person who goes out during the days of Nissan and sees the blossom of fruit trees recites the Birkat HaIlanot. I won't say the following blessing, which is Birkat HaIlanot, which you have in front of you. Okay? Rashi comments about this. In the days of Nissan, as the winter days have come to pass, so the earth is dry and man sees its full hemorrhage, which means its full blossoming. His mind is distracted and the evil spirit enters into him. And it says, the Midrash says, why does Rashi say that? Why does Rashi comment about it instead of commenting about the blessing of the Ilanot? He comments about the evil spirit that comes into a person when he sees everything blossoming. So it says, why does he comment like that? Because when everything blossoms and the summer comes, you will see that when Pesach is over, the first Shabbat after Pesach, our sages say you have to read Masechet Avot. You know the Mishnah Masechet Avot, which is all about moral. Everything in Masechet Avot is how we should behave and how we should be moral. Everything in Masechet, every week we read one of the Masachot. Pirkei Avot. Masechet Avot is Pirkei Avot. It's the same thing. It's in the Mishnah. Every week on Shabbat. And you should do that in your shuls. After Pesach passes, the first Shabbat after Pesach, we start with the first Perek Pirkei Avot. Usually what we do, we sit together, a few women, the men do the same thing, we read it and we speak about it. Every Masechet, each Shabbat until Shavuot comes. And it's, and the Ashkenazi minhag is to read Masechet Avot, to continue that until Tishrei, until the month of Tishrei. So dear women, listen very carefully. Why we need to be more moral? Because then you'll see that people it starts to become hot. Everything is beautiful. We start to take off clothes. Our mind is not really in what we need to think. Exactly. We're not so modest like we are in the winter, because in the winter we have to be modest. But when spring comes and summer comes, we are not so modest. We say, "Wow, it's too hot." Wow, so we give ourselves the shortcut. So it says, Rashi says, that's why it's a problem. And also the air has the smell. The smell all over from blossoming. So the evil spirit just goes into you and wants you to do bad things. It's more during winter. All of us we go to work and then we rush home. It's cold. We don't have even the urge to go outside. But then when summer comes and spring is blossoming and everything, and we smell the air, Rashi says this is the time that we should be careful. Now, why do we bless the trees? Why don't we? Now, nobody asked me over here. Why don't we give a blessing over flowers? Over animals? Why is the trees over grass? Why do we bless the trees? Because the thing that we sinned with, we have to correct it. What did the first human being sin? He sinned with a fruit tree, Etz Hadat, the knowledge tree, that he ate from it. That's why we have to correct that. This is what we are part of the first human being, all of us. So we have to correct it. How do we do that? By blessing a fruit tree. At least two fruit trees. It's like Adam and Chava, both of them. The first human being and his wife Chava. So we have to bless over the fruit tree. It's one of the things that we have to do. Another thing, dear women, it's like a measure for measure. Shimshon's... Simpson, I think it's called in English. Shimshon, the strong Shimshon that used to fight the Plishtim. Look what happened to him. They took out his eyes. And you will ask, why did they take his eyes? Because he had big eyes to look at the non-Jewish women, the girls of the Plishtim. And he married Delilah. He married Lilah. And that's why God said, you sinned with your eyes. This is what is going to be taken from you. Shalom Edam Etzorot. Yosef HaTzadik, the righteous Yosef, he slandered his brothers. He said that they are not behaving nicely to the children of the shpachot, of the maids that Yaakov married. So God made him a slave. Look what happened. He said that they are looking at the women of the non-Jewish people. So God made Eshet Potiphar to look at him. Everything is measure for measure. Everything you look for the small details. Yaakov Avinu did not see his father and mother for 22 years. He did not see his son Yosef for 22 years. He didn't have kibud avim. You should respect your father and mother for 22 years. So the same measure for measure. His son Yosef did not see him for 22 years. Everything. If you look at you'll ask me Noach. Look at Noach. Noach was in the ark. Okay, why was Noach in the ark? Doesn't Hashem have other means of salvation to a human being? Why did He put him in the ark? Because Noah did not approach his people in order to tell them to make tshuva, to do tshuva, to rid them over their sins. And he was closed in his four amot, like in four walls. So God says, because this is what you did, I'm going to save you in four walls. Exactly measure for measure. Everything that happens to a human being is measure for measure. If we'll be true to ourselves, you'll see that even in your life, if you look at your life and you will be true to yourself, you will see that truly everything happens measure by measure. Measure for measure. Everything that happens in our lives. In small, but only if we are truly true to ourselves. We do not color our sins. We sit down with Hashem and we do it bodedut. You know what bodedut is? It's like we sit down and we clean our thoughts from all the things that we did in the house and everything, and we start thinking, what did we do today? What did we do in the past? And then, just a minute, please. And then, Be'ezrat Hashem, you find that everything that happens in your life is measure for measure. And if you are lucky, God really gives you measure for measure in order that He will cleanse you from your sins. And then you have Olam Haba, the next world. You understand? So it's a privilege from Hashem. You have a merit from Hashem if you truly have measure for measure. Yes, please.
Is it just for the righteous people or for...
No. God gives every person a chance, everyone. It's the Jewish people and also the non-Jewish people. You just only need to be aware of what's happening around you,
Not everybody can see it.
Not exactly. Why? Because if you are covered with shells of the evil spirit of sins that you made, and you do not want to see the truth, it does not matter if you do not want to see the truth in this world. It does not matter. Anyway, this is the truth. You understand? Even if you want to believe in a lie, it does not matter. Eventually, God is true. His Torah is true. This is the Word of God. This is the Word of God that created this world. This is what He says to our people and to all the nations. He said the Jewish people have to follow 613 commandments. And the non-Jewish have to follow 7 commandments. That's what God decided. Why? Because the Jewish people is my firstborns and the others are the other children. My children, but the other children. It's like the same thing in a small family. We have the firstborn and the other children. And we always expect from our firstborn that he will help us. And he will set an example. You always have different expectations from the first, different expectations from the firstborn to and the other children. It's in every family. This is the family of Hashem. We are the family of Hashem. And we are His firstborns. That's why you are more harsh with a firstborn. You always say, but I expect you to be an example of your sisters and brothers. Do you understand? It's always like this. In every family it's the same. So this is the family of Hashem. We are the family of Hashem, so we are His firstborns. So God expects us more than others because we are His firstborns. When the Mashiach comes, all the nations will know Hashem. All of the people around the globe, everybody will know Hashem. And everybody will understand that this is His family, the Jewish people are His family. If they want it or if they don't want it, we are His firstborns. I'll explain to you. God says, last week parasha, we had Parashat Parai, we took out 2 books of Torah outside. We read from them. Part of it we read Parashat Shmini, and then we read Parashat Parah from Parashat Chukah, from Chumash Bamidbar. But then there was the Haftarah. And the Haftarah was from the book of Yechezkel, the prophet Yechezkel. Listen, dear women, just listen to the words of Yechezkel Hanavi. The prophet Yechezkel. I will translate. I'll read it in Hebrew and I will translate for you sentence by sentence. I just want you to catch what Hashem is telling us. It says, Sefer Yechezkel, Perek Lamedvav, 36. The chapter is 36.
And Pasuk?
It starts on Tet Zayin. It's 16. Okay, but I'm reading from Chafbet now, okay? God says that He spread us in exile between the nations. And He expected us to do a tikkun, to fix ourselves, to cleanse ourselves, in order that the third temple will be built already. But then he says that God forbid we did not do what he expected us to do, and we not only we did not do that, we imitated the Goyim. We imitated the non-Jews instead of keeping our religion and instead of doing the commandments that God told us to do. So God says, "Lachen emor lebet Israel," so tell the children of Israel, "כה אמר השם אלוקים, לא למענכם אני עושה בית ישראל, כי אם לשם קודשי אשר חיללתם בגויים אשר באתם שם." I will do it for my sake, says God, not for your sake, because I spread you between the nations and you did not do what I commanded you to do. And then he says, "V'kidashti et shmi," I will sanctify my name, et shmi hagadol hamechulal, that you caused not to be sanctified among the non-Jewish people. And he says, God, "Asher chilaltem betocham v'yadu hagoyim ki ani Hashem," and the goyim and all the nations will know that I am God. Neum Hashem Elokim b'akdishi b'chem le'nehem. I will sanctify you, I will cleanse you, and all of the nations will know that I am Hashem your God. ולקחתי אתכם מן הגויים, and I will take you from the nations, וקיבצתי אתכם מכל הארצות, and I will gather you from all the lands that you are in, והבאתי אתכם אל אדמתכם, and I will bring you back to your land, the land of Israel, וזרקתי עליכם מים טהורים וטיהרתם מכל טומאתכם ומכל גילוליכם וטהר אתכם, and I will throw upon you holy water, and those holy water will be the water of the red cow. You're the red cow that we put in holy water, and water of spring, spring that comes from the earth. Those are the ashes of red cow that is spread that is put inside the holy waters that come from a spring. "Natati lechem lev chadash," and I will make your heart a new one. I will give you a new heart. "Veruach chadasha," and a new spirit. "Eten bekirбechem ve'siroti et lev ha'eben mibsarchem," and I will take your heart of stone that you have now. Why does he say, the prophet, heart of stone? Because the evil spirit is compared to a stone. Because if you knock on the stone, it is not here. So your heart is not here. I knock on it and I try to tell you to do tshuva. I show you what happens to the nation. Look what I did with nature. Look what I did in Japan. Look what I did all around the globe. Look what happens in France to Jewish people. Look what happens in Israel. Look what happens now in Holland. He says, I am knocking on your door, but you did not wake up. Your heart is like a stone, he says. So I will change this heart of stone, and I will give you lev basar. I will give you a heart of flesh. I will give you, so you can feel me inside you. You'll feel every part, because I put part of myself inside of you, and you do not know how to appreciate it. It's even absurd even to think about it. God put part of Him inside of us, and we do not want to appreciate it. We prefer to appreciate what we see around us. And what we see around us is only the physical world. We did not look at the spiritual world. And he says, God, and I will put my spirit inside of you. ועשיתי את אשר בחוקי תלכו ומשפטי תשמרו ועשיתם, and then you will follow all my laws and you will keep them. וישבתם בארץ אשר נתתי לאבותיכם, and you will sit in the land of Israel which I gave your forefathers. It's a promise, nobody can take it. This is a promise of the one and the only one that created the world. It's His promise to the forefathers. He said this is the land that is going to be for the children of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Nobody can take it. We cannot give it away because it's not ours to give. God decided this is yours and you cannot give it. This is mine. The whole world is mine. You will ask me why. The month of Nissan is the first month of the months. Rosh HaChodashim, it's the head of the months. And Tishrei, and the month of Tishrei is the first month of the year, the Jewish year. And you will ask me, why wasn't the month of Nisan the first month? And I will if to you, because it says in the Midrash that God said, if they will start, the sages said, if I will start with the month of Nisan, and I will start with the first commandment that the Jewish people as a whole people received, which means HaChodesh Hazeh Rosh Chodashim, which means this month is going to be the head of the month. This is the first mitzvah that all of the children of Israel received as a whole, as one, as a people. So it says, God says, then the nations will come and say, why did you give the children of Israel the land of Israel? So God started with Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, which means if the nations were lost, why did you give the land of Israel to the Jewish people? God has an answer to them, because I created the whole world. It is mine, and it is mine to give or to take away. It's not anyone's else. We are only part. We have God put us, part of Him, His breath, part of Him inside of each and everyone. We are not the rulers. He is the ruler. We are not the ones that own everything. We just think, it's the illusion that the evil spirit lets us think, wow, we have a house, it's ours. Nothing is ours. Once we pass away, the house stays there. We are not there anymore. The library is there. We're not there. The beautiful car is there, but we're not there. The beautiful clothing is there, but we're not there anymore. We are just travelers for a certain amount of time. That's it. We need to remember that. So we came in order to do our best, in order to receive the next world, and in order to gain merit for our children, our grandchildren, and the whole world. Not only us, but also the nations. Once we do a good deed, we give this merit, this privilege to the whole world, not only to us. Do you understand? They all merit, but if God forbid we do the opposite thing, we sin, the whole world loses because of us. Do you understand? So it depends on how we accept the concept of what's going on in the world, the knowledge, that understanding, that when we walk, Hashem walks with us. When we speak, Hashem is over there listening. Because a Pinkas Patuach, the book is open, and there's Yad Roshem, and there's a hand writing everything that we do every minute. Don't fool yourselves. Everything is written. Remember what I told you today. Everything that we do. So God says that He's going to give, that He's going to give us the land that He gave to our forefathers. And you're going to be my people, and I'm going to be your God. And I will cleanse you from all of your sins. And you won't know what hunger is. You won't be hungry anymore. You will have enough food, He says. And I will see to you that you'll have a lot of fruit trees, and you'll have a lot of vegetables. So you won't be ashamed among the nations. And you will remember all the bad things that you did not listen to me. And you will feel ashamed. I don't do that for you, He says. You should be ashamed, He says. You should feel ashamed from the things that you do, the children of Israel. The day that I'm going to cleanse you from all of your sins, I will bring you back to all of your cities, and I will see that they will blossom, all the cities in the land of Israel, He says. בארץ הנשמה תאבד תחת אשר הייתה שממה לעיני כל עובר, and this land will flourish. ואמרו הארץ הזו הנשמה הייתה כגן עדן, and it will look like paradise, the land of Israel. Everyone will say it's paradise. והערים החרבות הנשמות הנעשות בצורות ישבו, which means you'll feel very safe in those cities. וידעו הגויים אשר יישארו סביבותיכם כי אני השם בניתי הנהרסות. And all of the non-Jewish people will know that I am God that built everything, that I am responsible for everything. נתתי הנשמה, אני השם דיברתי ועשיתי, which means I am God, I said and I did everything that I said. כה אמר השם אלוקים, עוד זאת אדרש לבית ישראל, לעשות להם מרבה אותם כצאן אדם. So God says, I will make you plenty, I will make a lot of you. You will פרובו. You will multiply. You will multiply. God says, I will make you a lot. Your numbers are going to be just like God promised. Like the stars in heaven and like afar al adama, like the sand on the ground. Dear women, ketzon kedoshim, you will be a holy sheep. ketzon ירושלים במועדיה כן תהיינה ערים החברות מלאות צאן אדם ועדו כי אני השם. God will fulfill all of his promises. And Bezrat Hashem, we should help him fulfill it. In order that, God forbid, we won't fall in, I told you, in times of judgment, God forbid. So we can do it with mercy. Mashiach can come. Mashiach is already here. We just need to wake up. You know, we are all asleep. We need to wake up, Bezrat Hashem. And then, Bezrat Hashem, everything will be okay. מה? זה חומש. בסוף החומש יש את ההפטרה. כן, זה ההפטרה שלה. Dear women, another thing, why do we say ברכת האילנות? So I would like to tell you, please listen, it's very important.
You said it.
No, it's not enough. That's only one. I'm explaining to you. Dear women, listen, by the Zohar HaKadosh, you know, I already told you that there's reincarnation also in plants. So what we do when we do birkat and when we mechavnim, when we concentrate, in order to have the merit, listen very carefully. Look what the blessing is. כתוב, ויעלה לפניך השם אלוקינו בלב אבותינו, כאילו קיבלנו בכל הכוונות הראויות לכוון בברכה הזאת ויסודותיה, and all that we need, that we concentrated on all the secrets of this blessing. And what are the secrets? ותהיה חשובה ומקובלת ומרוצה לפניך ברכה זו, and you will accept and have the merit of our blessing, לברר ולהעלות על ידה כל ניצוצי קדושה המעורבים בצומח, which means all of the souls that were had reincarnation in those trees will go back to the right places it should be. So we are helping them, do you understand? We are helping them to go to do the fixing in this world by reciting the blessing. You understand the meaning of it? It's like the meaning of the secrets of the blessing. We are reciting in order to help have the merit for those souls that are captures. Instead of going to the throne of Hashem, under the throne, they are still in the passage. So we are helping them to go out of it by the blessing that we are saying. בכל הנפשות, רוחות ונשמות המגולגלות בו, they are reincarnated inside the plant, inside that fruit tree. ואתה במיתת תורך וחסדך הגדול תאיר להם ברוב פניך ותשלים ברורם ותיקונם. And God, because of our blessing, you will help them to have the merit so they can finish their fixing in this world. You know what a zchut it is? All of this is written for you in the book, but Sefer HaEmet, in the book of truth in heaven. Everything that you helped others, not for your sake, for their sake, is written. So, dear women, we need to recite the blessing, and if you can with the Yehi Ratzon, you should recite it with the Yehi Ratzon. But bli neder, maybe we'll do that next week together, Bezrat Hashem. It will be Rosh Chodesh Nissan, bli neder, Bezrat Hashem. Dear women, let's continue. I know it's late, but wait. Wait, I'll explain everything in time. B'tach shall explain it. It's part of my... Okay, so we spoke about Birkat HaIlanot. I told you we do not say Tachanun. Now let's go to Ma'ot Chitin. Ma'ot Chitin is the money that we give for the matzot, for Pesach. At the beginning of Rosh Chodesh Nissan, we give money in order... It's not regular charity money. It's called Ma'ot Chitin Bekimcha de Pischa, which means flour for Pesach. Flour which you make a matzot from it. Why? Because so no poor person will sit down on Passover without matzot. So usually we give it to the rabbi of the shul. We give it you know, there's a big box to give money that they will collect the money for, so they can buy matzot to all the people, the Jewish people that cannot celebrate Pesach with matzot because they do not have money. You understand? So this is one of also One of the things that we do on the month of Nisan before Passover. Even the poor people, the ones that do not have enough money, should give something for Ma'ot Chitin. It's a big mitzvah, to the shul, to the rabbi. It's called Ma'ot Chitin. It's called Ma'ot Chitin. Ma'ot is money, okay? Chitin is flour. Kimcha de Pischa it's called. And then the last thing is, listen very carefully, dear women, during the month of Adar, during the month of Nisan, every day of Nisan, we read from Bamidbar, Parashat Neso. You have it in the part of the Sidurim. Do have it inside. In the portion that is called Neso in Chumash Bamidbar, you will see after Birkat HaKohanim, the triple blessing of the Kohanim. You'll see over there. You have the presents that each president of each tribe brought every day to the Mishkan. Okay. They brought presents. Every day, listen very carefully, you should read the part, for example, the first day, you take over here, I'll give you an example. Just a minute, please. Yes, 12 days, I'll explain everything. Well, I'll write it on the board also. Okay, it says, for the first day, it's written, the first one is the president of Yehuda, the tribe of Yehuda. So you read all of it, everything that he gave. This is for the first day. The second day of Nisan, you read the second president that came. It's written in the Chumash. Bayom Hasheni Kriv Netanel ben Tzuar Nesi Yisachar. The second day is the president of the tribe of Issachar, so you read that part. I'll explain why it's important. All 12 days, from the first day of Nisan till the 12th of Nisan, you should read each one of them. Why is it so important? Listen very carefully, dear women. Each day is a parallel to each month of the year. Once you read it, then you should ask blessings in parnasah, in income, in health, everything for yourself and for the whole children of Israel. Listen very carefully. And then what it says in the holy books, that when you do that, Rabbi Nachman Versa in Likutei Moharan says that when you do that, it's a beautiful thing. When you do that, God sees to it that month, once it comes, you are protecting that month. Every day I will explain to you is against one of the months. It's parallel to one of the months of the year. The first day, which is the first of Nisan, Echad Nisan, okay? This is one of Nisan, okay? This is Nisan. The first day, let's write over here. The first day of Nisan, Aleph Nisan, is parallel to the month of Nisan itself, okay? The second day is Nisan, the parallel to the month of Iyar, Nisan Iyar, and the third one, etc., until you come to the 12th. The 12th one is Adar, but on a leap year we have 2 Adarim. So this is for Adar Aleph, and the third one you'll see Yud Gimel is for Adar Bet. We finish Adar Bet. You want me to write you the months?
No.
Okay. Each one is for one of the months. You'll see the third one is Adar. And then we have on the 13th day, it's for Adar Bet. It's the ending of, you see the last president on the 12th. On the 12th day is Beyom HaShnei-Masar, Yom Nasi Livnei Naftali, it's from the tribe of Naphtali, the president of Naphtali. And then you have Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe, this is the 13th day. Daber el Aaron v'amart elav ba'alotcha et hanerot. We speak about the menorah. Okay? That's the 13th day. And this is for Adar Bet. That's the 13th day, okay? That's what you read out of Chumash Bamidbar, Parashat Neso. And you will see the 40th day is already Pesach. So you should concentrate, Be'ezrat Hashem, that each one of them, you should concentrate on each one of the months, of the Hebrew months, and then ask blessings, not only for yourself, but for all the children of Israel. Ask Hashem that He will bring Mashiach with mercy. Yes?
Of 13 days what we are reading?
No, then it's Pesach, it's Passover. 13th day is the menorah. You'll see. It's the part of the, you'll see the 12th president, okay, which is from the tribe of Naphtali. And then the 30th, you'll read the part of the menorah, okay? That's for Adar Bet. It's in Parashat Neso, in the portion that is called Neso, in Chumash, in Chumash Bamidbar. You open, it's exactly after the triple blessing of the Kohanim, Birkat HaKohanim, exactly after that you can see that, yes.
The 13 months, it correlates to the 13 attributes of Hashem.
Can, everything, better. We have 13 measures of Hashem. We have one that Moshe Rabbeinu kibel and one that Micha Navi kibel, the prophet. Yes.
I just curious, like, God did not like sacrifices 13 tribes. Why we supposed to eat this? He did not like it. He says like they're supposed to come first, they're supposed to bring first, and they just were like last.
Better he liked it. It says, the Midrash asks, why did he, everybody brought the same thing. So why did he, it's not enough to say that all of the presidents of all the tribes came in on the first day and brought the same sacrifices, the same presents. Is that enough to say that? But instead God said, no, I want you to write each one will come on a different day and bring his presents. Why? Because this is a karat tov, appreciation. God was happy that each one of them brought in the presents, and each one would had a different meaning to the presents that he brought, in order to glorify the name of God. Because they were sorry that they did not bring in the beginning presents to Hashem to help build the Mishkan. So that's why God said, but they want to, but he saw that their will that they wanted to. So he said, let them and write each one of them on a different day, because this is a karat tov. This is to know how to appreciate. God teaches us. From this we must learn that even if a simple person does a good kind thing to you, you should appreciate that. You should have a karat tov. If God appreciated what the presidents, he does not need it, but he appreciated it. And they brought exactly the same thing, and still he took the time, he told Moshe to write it, and the ink and the paper in order to write it, the letter in order to write it, because God said, I want you to learn how to God appreciates what the sand did to Moshe Rabbeinu. He did not allow him, while he had to kick with a stick on the sand. He said, you are not allowed to do that, because the sand saved you. When the sand covered the Egyptian that you killed, the sand saved you. So you have to have appreciation even to the sand. The water, the Nile, he did not let you. He told him, give it to your Aaron, your brother. You are not allowed to take the matan to kick the water, because they saved you when you were in a box on the Nile. So God teaches us from his measures. He said this is a karat tov, even to a thing that does not move, that is not considered a living thing. Still God says you have to have a karat tov. So God teaches us from his measures. As alachat kama v'chama, it's more than a human being does something nice towards you. Do you understand? So it's very important. And more than that, when we read about the 12 presidents that gave from each tribe the presents, it says that we need to learn from that how to appreciate all of the tzaddikim, all of the righteous people. It is not matter if you're Chassid from Gur, or Chassid Chabad, or Chassid Satmar. It does not matter from where you come from. You should love all of the tzaddikim. And why? And why you should do that? Because those 12 tribes, it's written in the Midrash, those 12 presidents, nobody asked me. There was the well of Miriam, but there were so many Jewish people. So everybody came to take water from the well. It's not even, you cannot do that. You've thought about it once? Millions, they will come and just pour water from one well. You know, it will take months until everybody has water, and only for one day. So there will be a problem. But it says that they took a stick and they made a line from the well to their tribe. And the well took water, from the well went water through the line, so each person, they did not even have to make any effort. They just went out of their tent and they had water. Look how beautiful it is. But the inner meaning of this, the secrets of this, the beautiful thing that you have in this, is this, that it means that each tribe took from which well? From the well of wisdom of Hashem. it's not only the wisdom and understanding, but knowing Hashem. Each president of that tribe was like a tube of da'at, of knowledge from Hashem exactly to his tribe. It says, the Arizal Zchutot HaGen says, that in heaven there are 12 lines, 12 places that they're worshipping Hashem, 12 places for the 12 tribes. And God accepts, even because each one of us works God a little bit differently. They understand? Each one of us, each zerem, each stream in the Jewish religion works Hashem a little bit differently. One is a Chared, one is a Hasid. It's a little bit, but all of us are worshipping Hashem. All of us love Hashem. We just have a small nuancing that we have in our way that we worship Hashem, and all of this is accepted by Hashem. Yes.
But because of this, tribe, chiefs were we seen and we stuck for 40 years and we stuck here too. Because they train, they just bring whatever, and
because that's exactly
we need to pray for these people.
So we need to pray to Hashem that God will help us love each other, unconditional love. V'ahavta l'recha kamocha. You should love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Not if you don't want something to be done to you, don't do it to others. Don't slander, God forbid, others. And by slandering tzaddikim, you're slandering others. On Yom Kippur, you cannot ask forgiveness from a whole group of people if you spoke badly about them. The most biggest tikkun in this world now is our mouth. This is the most biggest tikkun that we need to do, is our mouth. You see that we even, we decide when is Rosh Chodesh by a mouth. How do we know when there's Rosh Chodesh? We bring, there are witnesses that see that the moon is almost nothing, and they say this is the state of the moon, now it's Rosh Chodesh. So by the mouth, by testifying, this is the mouth, we decide that this is Rosh Chodesh. So our tikkun, our fixing is the mouth. I will end with one thing. The month of Nissan has different names. It's called the month of Nissan. It's called Chodesh HaAviv, and it's also called Rosh HaChodashim. But we have in the month of Nissan, this is in the month of Nissan. Aviv, if you look, this is the Aviv in Hebrew is spring. If I'll take this word and I'll divide it to two, it's Av, Yud Bet, which means it's the father of all 12 months. Because Yud is 10 and Bet is 2, together it's 12. So it's the father of all 12. Look how beautiful it is. The Rosh HaChodashim, the head of the months. Ken.
You started to say before that Tishrei is actually the first month of the year.
Decided by our sages, and God said Rosh HaChodashim is Nissan. The count is by Nissan.
The same. Rosh HaChodashim is the head of all the month,
and then our sages decided we'll speak about. I spoke already about it. כשדיברנו בראש השנה, לפני ראש השנה, I gave you a lecture about it. Why was decided that Tishrei is the first month of the year and not Nissan? But anyway, listen, I'll continue now. Please look, there are a lot of lectures that we already have on the net, and I won't go into it now, Bezrat Hashem, but I will give you again the explanation. So this is Aviv, Av Yud Bet Chodashim, the head, the father of all 12 months. Look how beautiful it is. 12 months, and Nissan is also, if you look at the word Nissan, Rabbi Chaim Yosef Sharabi gave me an enlightenment. He says Nissan is also the name of God. It's also the name of God, because look, Nun is 50, Yud is 10, Samech is 60, and Nun is also 50. If we'll take off the tens, the zeros, we'll have 5, 1, 6, and 5. So let's look. 5 is Hey, okay? Another 5 is Hey. You see 5, 5. 6 is Vav. I don't want to write the name, so if you add it together, it's Yud, K, Vav, K. It's the same thing, but it's more than that. Nissan is the name of God, the Kedusha. The Kedusha is everything that we have in tens. Nissan, if you take, Nun is 50. Oh, I wrote it over here. So let's add it. 50 plus 10 is 60. Plus 60 is 120. Plus 50 is 170. 170 is 17 multiplied by 10. 17 is the name of God, one of the names of God, which is Aleph, Kuf, Vav, Kuf, the name of knowing. Shem Hadat, it's called. Shem Hadat. Instead of Kuf, it's Hey. Aleph is 1. Hey here is 5. Vav is 6. Another 5. Together it's 17. It's the name, Et haaretz ve'et hashamayim. It's the name of God of Da'at. Shem Hadat.
What is et
It's a part of Pasuk, so that He created it, Haaretz ve'et hashamayim. That God created heaven and earth, and this is Shem Hadat. This is
what does it have to do with that? Pasuk.
This is the name of God, one of the names of God. Okay, that created heaven and earth. So if you take the first letters of the sentence, you'll see it's this name. It's the name of God. It's the first letter. I thought you already think with me. So I'm sorry. So you take the first letters of each word, you see it's the name of God of knowledge. This is also the name that Eliezer, Eved Avraham, הייתה לו קפיצת הדרך. The way jumped for him. גם יעקב אבינו, this is the name that they used, but in a special way. You have to know how lechaven. But this is the name of God of knowledge, which is 17. So Nissan is 17 times 10 is the Shem Hashem de Kedusha, sanctuary name of God, Livriyut. But it's more than that. It says in Likutei Moharan a beautiful thing. What is Aleph and Bet? Bet is considered like Bereshit. Bet is Bait. I'll finish with this, but you have to listen. It's beautiful. Bet is Bait. So I have two Bait over here. Bait is a house. Okay, I have Bet here and Bet here from the name Aviv, spring in the Hebrew word. Okay, so what is Aleph? Aleph is the name of God because it's. Sefer Stam writes it with Yud, Vav, Yud. Yud is 10, another Yud is 10, Vav is 6, is 26. This is Alufo Shel Olam, which means a person should make a bait, his body, Ramach Evarim Veshasa Gidim, 248 organs and 365 veins. He should make them as a house for Hashem. ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם, which means you should make me a temple and I will be inside you, in your body. You should remember me. So it means Aleph Bet, Alufo Shel Olam should be in your body. You should feel Him. You should feel Hashem. Alufo Shel Olam, the name of God should be. But then we have Yud and Bet. And what is Yud and Bet, dear women? Yud is in a higher level, is Chokhmah, is wisdom. You remember I told you in the Kabbalah, Chokhmah, we have Chokhmah, the Binah, and Yud is for Chokhmah over here. Aleph is the Keter, is the crown. Chokhmah is wisdom, and Binah is understanding. This is the Hey of God over here from the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. So we have the Yud over here. So this Yud of Hashem, which is the Chokhmah, should be again in the house, in your body. Once the wisdom of Hashem, once you feel, honestly, betmimut, very purely, you feel Hashem, but then you also have His wisdom. You come to a lesson of Torah, you feel His wisdom. You learn, you get an understanding, you get a da'at, you get the tube of knowledge. This is the tube of knowledge. Once you have this, you have the whole Aviv inside of you. Alufo Shel Olam, God is inside of you because you build a temple for Him. Your body is a temple for Him. Because I told you, we are temporary here. The purpose of us being here is to build a temple for Hashem. Is to make His light that everybody will see His light, will feel His light, will feel His love. God is love. God is very simple. God is all about truth and love. He gave us the commandments in order that we will live in a certain way and will come to the fixing of the whole world. Not only us, but also the non-Jewish people will come to the fixing, and this world will become paradise. That's what's supposed to be from the beginning of creation. but because of the sins he did come to this fixing. And so we received 13 mitzvot, commandments, and the Goyim received 7 mitzvot. Together we should do the fixing of the world in order that this world will become paradise. That's our duty in this world. This is what we need to do, dear women. I would like to tell you that with these words, I'll finish now, and I would like to bless all of us, בעזרת השם, שיגיע משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן, that the מבשר יגיע אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב, and לעולם יפרד אדם מחברו מדבר הלכה יחיד ורבים הלכה כרבים. God bless you.